Hey everyone, Nick Taylor here with MenajErie Studio with another gear review for you. Today we're looking at the DJI Osmo Action. So we're going to do a little unboxing, do some test shots, and I'll give you my thoughts on this new camera. Let's check it out. Today we're going to unbox the brand new DJI Osmo Action. This was $349 at the time of purchase, which was cheaper than the GoPro alternative. I'll be really interested to see how it stacks up. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open this thing up. Okay, so as we open this up, we can see the camera's right here. Standard action camera mount. So we'll see the front screen here, nice big back screen here. This is a touch screen, battery compartment in the bottom here. So it looks like some more mounting pieces here, charging cable, slot for a micro SD card, and a USB-C, it looks like. One of the uses that we're looking forward to is capturing some behind the scenes as we do video productions for clients, and also some of the time-lapse functions that come with this. Okay guys, quick disclaimer, we are not sponsored at all by DJI. We bought this with our own money, so everything you hear today is our thoughts without any sponsorship behind it. So first of all, when you compare this with our typical DSLR mirrorless camera setup, it's so fast, it's easy to use. It makes me want to go out there and get more footage. It sort of spurs that creativity. The other thing I love about this is the time-lapse mode gives you the option to do video plus JPEG. And I found that there's just so much more latitude in color correction when you bring in the JPEG sequence to edit the time-lapse. That was a big one for us, is having a quick, easy, good-looking time-lapse camera, and DJI definitely delivered. So the other game-changing feature on this is a relatively simple feature, but something that is just so useful, and that's this front screen. If I just hold down the QS button, it automatically flips it around. So now, if I want to use this in selfie mode, or I want to stick this up in a corner and take video and want to know what the framing looks like without having to do test shots, take it down, look at the back. It's just this really simple feature that makes this camera just that much more useful. I love that about this. So the other thing I tested with this camera that a lot of action cameras tote now is the waterproof casing. I took this on just a simple tripod stick, turned it upside down, dipped it in the water, held it underwater. I got some video of some minnows that were swimming by, which was pretty cool. I also stuck this thing down right in the waves, and it just got pummeled by the waves, but I was able to get some really cool shots. One of the other features that is really nice, and this is something you can do in post, but it's nice just to have a feature right in the camera, and that is Dwarp. So with a lot of these action cameras, the field of view is so wide, you get this kind of curvature at the edges of the screen. There's a setting right in the camera to turn on Dwarp, and it sort of gives you a nice flat horizon. Just a really nice feature that's included in almost every mode. So, and finally, slow motion. These cameras now can do crazy fast frame rates. This one can do full HD at 240 frames per second, and really no complaints there. It's just an awesome feature. It works really well. Even though I love this camera, there's a few things that I think they could do better. Maybe some of these could be fixed with firmware upgrades. One of the things that I would love to be able to do is this thing can take raw photos, so it's DNG files. But for the time-lapse, you're limited to JPEG, which you can still get tons of information from, but it would be really cool to have a raw option for the time-lapses. So the other thing I noticed in the time-lapse mode that is kind of an odd quirk is when you're in JPEG plus video mode, you are limited to a 2-second interval as the minimum rate of capture. If you go back and you do just regular video time-lapse, you can go down to, I think, half-a-second intervals. And so it's just sort of an odd limitation. So lastly, I think something that would be great to have is there's an HDR video mode on here that gives you some really great colors, but when you're in HDR mode, you don't get rock steady stabilization. It's kind of disappointing. If you're doing a tripod shot or something like that, it's not gonna be an issue, but if you're walking around with this, you're definitely gonna want the stabilization. Okay, final thoughts on this thing. First of all, it's just an incredible deal. This is the most inexpensive 4K 60p, full HD, 240 frames per second, beautifully stabilized camera. You can't get a better value than that. The other thing I love is just the pure ease of use. It's so simple to set up and get recording, get great video. I've been so used to using mirrorless cameras and DSLRs and interchangeable lens cameras that just take way longer to set up. Something that's just simple, fast, easy to use is just indispensable. Sort of a last note, and this is maybe just a personal preference to me, is I already have a DJI drone. I have the Phantom 4 Professional. Having the same color profiles and the app interface and everything's pretty familiar, so having that brand recognition was a big one for me. Okay guys, those are my thoughts on the new DJI Osmo Action. I really enjoy doing these gear reviews, so like this video if you found it useful and leave a comment below. Also subscribe and you'll get more of these videos as they come out. Thanks guys for checking this out. We'll see you in the next video.